like giveaway winner announcement. Share now.
Right. Are we live? Are we live?
Yes,
Check.
looks like we are. We are sharing over on the NCSA page too. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being patient with us. This was totally on me and my tech gremlins tonight, and these gentlemen were so gracious, patient with me. And I have with us tonight Rideshare Safety Partition. We have the CEO, Richard Davis. Say hi. And we also have David
Hi,
Lane.
everybody.
Yes. And we also have David Lane, who is a CTO, which has come quite in handy tonight with our tech gremlins. And so tonight we are going to be announcing the giveaway winner. A few weeks ago, we did announce that Rideshare Safety Partition was sponsoring one of our webinars to help us bring awareness to care necessary for physical safety. Many families struggle having safety in the car. And this is a partition that I got for myself. It made a tremendous difference in our lives. And I wanted to share to the community that this existed. And I reached out to them and they jumped on right away and said, sure, we'd love to give away a partition. And so families were able to submit applications to tell their stories, and Rideshare Safety Partition has had some time to review those stories. And now that they have, they are going to be announcing the winners. So I will go ahead and turn this over to them so that they can give you the announcement.
Hi, everyone. I'm Richard Wayne Davis. I am the CEO, founder, and inventor of the Rideshare Safety Partition. And David, which is the right hand of the business, the backbone, whatever you can name, he's that. And he told me about the situation, and he asked what you asked, and I say sure. And when I was reading the participants that wrote in, I had no idea. It was just I can't explain. It was an emotional reaction, and I had no idea what parents go through with kids with special needs and the danger, and I mean it just floored me. So me and Dave had a discussion. Instead of giving away one, we decided to give away two. And the stories that I read was so it was so hard tugging. I still can't grasp the depths of what parents go through, but I got a glimpse. And with that glimpse, that's why we decided to give away more than one. And David is gonna tell you the two that we picked. Dave?
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Again, on behalf of Richard and everybody here at the Rideshare Safety Partition family, we just want to thank Jackie for all of the work that she has done for those dealing with autism. Again, I was with Richard as we read the stories. They were so moving, they were so just heart wrenching. But there was also in every single one of them, there was this thread of hope. Families that love each other, they're not going to give up. They're always fighting to find a way. And we are just fortunate enough to be in a position where we can help. We have a product that when it was designed, it was initially designed, and Richard can tell you this story. It was thought about for Uber drivers, and hence the name Rideshare Safety Partition. But as we went along, we found out that the partition itself had other markets that needed us, and we're glad to be in a position to be there for them. Again, we went through all of the names and admissions, and we couldn't just pick one. And Richard, in his generosity and benevolence, decided we're going to give away two of them. So, without further ado, for all of those who applied, we have your email address and contact information. So we'll be contacting you later. But Rachel L is the first person that we chose, and honestly, her story, it was the first one that we read, and we were like, oh my goodness, how are we gonna choose through all of these submissions? But just the amount of love and care that she expressed for her family, for all of the issues that they have in transportation now because of autism, but not wanting to give up on that, to be able to, help their family. We just jumped on that opportunity. And so, Rachel L., be expecting an email communication from us, because we want to bless you and your family with a partition that we know will help you help them. The second one, because we couldn't just leave it at one, Minnie Z. Minnie Z. And again, she talked about her 6-year-old daughter. And of course, we can't really go into all of the specific details, but just knowing that we can help these families with a partition that they can use to transport to doctor's appointments, but not just doctor's appointments, to go to family functions, to go just to enjoy their life together and be more, normal instead of having to be limited, is what we're all about. It was not something that we imagined our partition would do, but once we found out about it, oh, we're just so glad that we are in a position to help these families. So Rachel and Minnie, man, be looking for some message coming from us. And I believe that Richard also has another announcement that he would like to make. I will turn it back over to you.
Okay, Jackie,
Yeah.
on behalf of NCSA, we would like you to pick another winner.
Wow. I I have I have no this is very unexpected, and just for full disclosure, um I was not involved in the selection process. I really wanted to lead this up and see what somebody that was new to the community, what really resonated with them. So I was completely outside of the decision-making process, but wow. And I've been talking with them today. I just found out that they were going to be announcing two, which was a really great um, measure. But let me let me pull up the um, the document that I sent you guys with the applicants.
And it was one
Here
of
we
those
go.
conversations that we had where it was like, if we were billionaires, of course, we would just give partitions away to everyone. Unfortunately, we are
Yeah,
not.
of course.
But we are blessed as a business that has been going strong now since 2015. We're in a position where we might not be able to give everybody a partition, but based on all of the applicants that we read and their stories, we just had to find a way to give one more. And we wanted you to choose because of your closeness to this issue. If we had known about you before you purchased, we might have given it to you, but um, uh,
I really appreciate being kind of the trailblazer of getting this over the hump as far as assistive technology or adaptive equipment on a waiver basis where medical equipment has parity with behavioral needs equipment. And not that I was crazy about having to do the fight, but once I was able to get over that hump, knowing that so many other families behind that might have easier access to it, I'm going to go off camera just for a minute while I review this, and we can check the Facebook page. If you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the comments while I go off camera for just a minute to review these real quick, and I will let these gentlemen talk a little bit about like maybe the origin of rideshare safety partition. That's quite a moving story in and of itself.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Richard, take it away.
Yeah. 2015, I told my teenage daughter they had to get a job. And they came back and said, "Oh, we drive an Uber." And then I panicked. I was like, "No." They said, "No, Dad, you said a job. You didn't say what job." So I went in the basement and I sat on the couch and I prayed. And I was like, they got to give me some way to protect my daughters. And it was some cardboard. We had just got a delivery of some cardboard on the floor. So I picked the cardboard up.
Well, don't
And
forget, before that, you just followed them in your car.
oh, I didn't want to tell all that, but yeah. For the first few days, I followed my daughter when she went to work. And one day she called my phone. She said, "Dad, are you following me?" I was like, "Nope." But I was following her because I was concerned about her safety being in the car with strangers. But when I sat down and I took this cardboard and I just drew and I took some scissors and I cut and I went out to my car and what was in my head, I pushed it up over the headrest and I said, "This can work." So I took that piece of cardboard and took it to a manufacturer which I live close to and asked him, "Can he make it?" He said, "Give me a couple of days." So he called back and said, "Yeah, I can make it." And I said, "I need three of them because at this time I had four daughters, but only three of them was able to get the driving job. So he made them. Cost a lot of money because when you have one thing made in a manufacturer, it costs a lot of money to set up and everything. And they kept coming home and say, "Dad, everybody loves it." And they was like, "Where can they get one?" And I told them, "My dad invented this, so you can't buy it at a store or anything." So after that, I was like, "Okay, maybe I can patent it." So got with Dave and we got the patent stuff going and we started the business and here we are. And we have helped numerous thousands of people with our safety petition. We have testimonials about people that was in dangerous situation and they said had they not had the petition, it could have been really bad for them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So,
Okay, go lay down.
And the partition that
so
we have now is modified from the one that we started out eventually. Obviously, we went through development, we fine tuned it, we revised it, and refined it to make it the best that we felt like it could be. Partition right now, for those who aren't familiar with it, it's impermeable to all bodily fluids and virus droplets. So when 2020 hit, the partition was in the perfect position to help protect people from the pandemic. Because of the construction that it's made out of, the polycarbonate, quarter-inch polycarbonate. It is bulletproof up to a 45 caliber handgun. Not something that you would ever imagine, but we wanted it to be the industry standard for safety because, again, your family is out there, they're driving, we want them to come home safely and sound. And so the straps that we use, they're rated for over 1,200 pounds of force. So you can't just pull them, you can't just cut them. They prevent any and all unnecessary access from the rear of the car to the front to protect the driver, but also protect the passenger as well. And because they're so clear, you don't feel cut off, you don't feel claustrophobic. It's just the best design that we have found to make the safest possible for everybody concerned. And once we started to get orders from parents of autistic children, which is not something that we had ever considered was a market, it sort of sparked in our mind that this is taking it's taking on a life of its own. And we were glad to be in a position to be there to help because that's what we're all about.
Yeah, this is, I can understand how you couldn't pick just one. Just rereading through these is,
I know. Wow.
mm,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
it was hard.
yeah, and I would really like to extend my gratitude to the families that did apply because I recognize, certainly as a mom myself in this population, the shame and stigma that comes in these situations and how difficult it is to share and to be vulnerable and to share your story. But we have put out several appeals in recent months asking you to share your story, and I hope watching this tonight you can see what a profound impact it can have, because like both of them have said, this was not a population they're familiar with. This isn't something they have, but from being able to read your stories, they were profoundly moved. And that's what we hope you feel like there is value in sharing your story. Um, I myself, just reading through these, we found it very challenging, but I think for me, one of the biggest factors and who I'm going to say for my choice in this is um, from my own experience having a daughter who was in severe catatonia and severe self-injury, aggression, property destruction, and having gone through these times and knowing that level of danger, there were a lot of days that I felt it like I didn't know how I was going to be able to handle it. And one day after another like that. But I was always so grateful that at least she was a 4'11" girl, right? And I would think of those moms that had these sons that were in these grown men bodies with the kind of self-injury that and aggression that my daughter was displaying. And I really could imagine how much more dangerous that could be. And one of the mothers on here has a son who is 6'5" as an adult. And that is just if that level of aggression and self-injury is the same as my daughter's, then I can't imagine how terrifying that ride must be for her when he is dysregulated. So for that factor, I am going to say Christine K.
Okay.
Christine K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that story vividly. Vividly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
all of them.
definitely.
All the stories was heart tugging, and it was like I was stating earlier, I'm not an emotional guy, and yeah, I had to take a break and then go back and start reading them again. So yeah, I have a whole new outlook, a whole new respect for parents with special need kids.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you saying that, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come on live tonight to make this announcement, because once I talked to rideshare safety partition earlier today, and listening to Richard talk about his experience reading through these and sharing it with his wife, and how emotional of an impact this had with him, it gave me hope, because we do share these stories with legislators sometimes, and it sometimes might feel like we're not breaking through, but to hear that those messages can reach through to the public, it really gives us hope and motivation to continue the advocacy work we're doing. And I really think that's the key to this. It's just helping people see the authentic realities of this side of the spectrum. It is very different. And I have the greatest empathy for those that just can't understand the stories that parents might share. I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't lived it, but these are real, very much, very much reality that the families are living through, and they need solutions. And this is such an affordable, accessible solution. I wish I would have known 5 years sooner.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was looking today, and your highest, I think, option is like $1,400, and as low as I think 269. And depending on what size vehicle you have and how many pieces you need and all of that, I can, when I was envisioning this, because I knew it years ago, this is what I needed, with some kind of barrier, partition, something to separate that I would be safe driving. I was imagining that this would cost $8,000, and that's why I fought so hard to have the insurance cover it. And at the end of the day, to have the waiver finally approve it, and to find out it was less than $500. It's like, I just fought 5 years or something that was less than $500. Had I known, I would have just bought it out of pocket long prior. And so this is really something good that you guys are doing. And I hope that, our community really appreciates your generosity for this.
Well, one more thing. For the people that didn't get picked, Dave, you want to explain what we plan on doing with them?
So, like I said before, if we were billionaires, we just give them away to everyone, because obviously you all were deserving of a partition. But unfortunately, we're not. So, what we would like to do for those who were not chosen but did submit their stories to us, thank you again. You moved us. You gave us a different perspective on our business as business people, but also a different perspective on us as parents, a different perspective on us as just human beings, living with other humans. So what we would like to do is we would like to give you an additional discount. So there's a code now, NCSA. If you go and purchase, you can get 15% off of your purchase. You use code NCSA, and when you make your purchase, 15% off your total order. But for everyone that submitted us an application to us, we're going to extend to you an additional $80 off. That way, we were trying to eliminate as much friction as we can off of the purchase process, to where you all can get a partition for your family, and then you can then in turn use that same code after you make your purchase. And if you refer someone to make a purchase and they use your code, then they will get 15% off, and then we will give you a $25 gift, basically just thanking you for sharing our product with someone else, and hopefully spreading the word so that more people can benefit. That's what we're all about. We're all about making transportation as safe as possible for everyone involved, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah, and to make it a little easier too, if even after the dollars is taken off and you still find that that is challenging financially for you, we were trying to think. Originally, we thought maybe a GoFundMe kind of fund for it, but they take out fees. So what we have, I think, landed on is if you want to crowdsource the addition, whatever it might be, look on their website and match that whatever safety partition you need to your vehicle. They have a pretty extensive list of vehicles, but for example, I have a Buick Envision and my car wasn't on that list. So we called and they were able to help us figure out which one we needed. And so if you don't see your car on there, go ahead and email them and I'm sure they will let you know which one you need. But once you figure out which one you need and you know the amount minus that $80, set up a Facebook fundraiser. Use NCSA as the nonprofit. I would put into the title that specifically that it's like RSP or Rideshare Safety Partition. So we know that this is a directed donation where if you share with your friends and family to get that extra $200-300, whatever it might be that you need to cover that, we'll know that that money goes to make sure that you can get your partition. This is NCSA gratefully working together with a community partner to try to get solutions directly into the hands of our community, people who really need this kind of help. And we're a very small nonprofit, so we certainly could never have done this on our own. And we are so grateful that Rideshare Safety Partition has been so generous. And this was all them. This was way beyond what we originally asked them to participate in this. So really good people, and we are always glad to share with the community, especially when companies have this kind of heart that drives them. We really appreciate you.
And again, we appreciate you so much for everything
Yes,
that
thank you.
Yeah. And if you aren't somebody who had applied and you're just a member of the community and you want to also help these families, and how could you do that? Keep track of our Facebook page in the coming days. See if anybody does post those crowdfunding fundraisers. It'll show on our Facebook page. And if you want to be able to contribute to them, that is a great way to be part of this wonderful process, is if you see somebody have one of those fundraisers for a partition, please help contribute to that if you can.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's made me feel really good to do this.
It is mutually quite a moving experience. Just from that side too. I'm so enveloped in this world. It's rare that I meet others now that haven't seen this before. So it is a moving experience for me to see somebody that is just getting that experience. And we're just so appreciative of you. We really are. Thank you.
Definitely our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
All right. So yes, everybody look for emails, communications, posts on Facebook, social media coming soon. Thank you all again so much for joining us. God bless you all. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.